Your turn, Yugi boy.
What is up, guys? This is Alinthio coming at you today with an updated deck profile of my Skull Servant deck for the April 2016 ban list. Now, as you can see, we have one very important change here, 1000 Eyes Restricts, but we shall get on to that little bad boy later. So without further ado, let's go straight into it. Starting us off, we obviously have the king himself, the 3 King of Skull Servants. You play 3 because you have to. There's no point in cutting down on any of them because otherwise you're not playing the deck right. It's kind of simple. Next up, 3 Lady in the White. This is your little queen of the deck. Nice big 2-2 defense. Nice setter if you've drawn maybe a bit of a bad hand. And yeah, the protection for level 3 or lower zombies, excluding herself, is just really, really good. So yeah, she is a staple at 3. Next up, we have 3 White Prince. So I've bumped White Prince up to 3 just because of Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness, it just allows us to dig a bit more. So if I am a little bit tight on the hand, I can just get rid of a White Prince, and it means that I'm not going to be sacrificing one of the effects, and I'm not going to have dead Skull Servants in the deck. So White Prince at 3 is working really well, and yeah, I just like it how it is now. And then to follow that, obviously we have the OP2 Skull Servant, the original OG. Obviously you have to play it. Play 3 if you really want. The whole idea between this is simply because you don't want to max out on Skull Servants, because all you technically need to do is resolve 2 of these to really be able to profit from how the deck runs and that. So adding a third, one with space issues and the other is just, it opens you to cloggy drawing. So yeah. Next up, 3 White Mare. White Mare has gotten infinitely better with the addition of Allure of Darkness going to 2, which I'll get to in a little sec. Allure of Darkness and this means that you can just be a little bit more reckless in the fact that you can banish like your ladies or Skull Servants, or King of the Skull Servant, sorry, with the Allure of Darkness. And that means that White Mare becomes more live more often. So it's just a really nice thing to have, and I never really draw it dead. It was just, I cut it to 2 in a previous build just because I was really running out of space, and that was the only thing I saw that might be okay, but it just didn't work and I actually missed it. Next up, 3 Unizombie. Unizombie is an absolute insane card. The whole reason this deck really, really works. And yeah, I don't realize why. I don't even know why this was ever a common, to be honest. And it wasn't even short print. So Unizombie just being able to ditch from your deck or your hand to increase the level on the field is just so good. Being able to do so many loops with it and all that. Yeah, Unizombie is just the heart and soul of this deck, especially since Mathematician went to 1. Broken. Next up, we have the 3 Mizuki. Mizuki, I see some people playing at 2, and I don't really understand it. Mizuki really gives this deck recovery and power plays. It means that you can play your graveyard like your hand, and it also means that you have good targets for Unizombie. Excuse me, and also the fact that it's one of your main cards to use for synchro summoning, and just in general bringing back things like King of Skull Servants on huge attack. Or maybe even if you're a bit worried about back row, you can just banish it to bring back a lady and then bring out your King of the Skull Servants. So there's just multiple functions that Mizuki has in this deck, and I would never cut it down to 2 because he's just so good. Next up, the 1 Mathematician, RIP, but unfortunately we have to play 1. I still think it's worth playing it because it's a Foolish Burial with multiple functions, and just in general it's a pretty decent card. So yeah, Mathman at 1 is just unfortunately how it goes. I think if it ever came off the list, you just play it at its maximum unless something better comes out. Next up, the newly semi-limited, we have 2 Debris Dragon. I know it's American. I don't like the American print. I'm going to see if someone will swap me for another Euro print. But Debris Dragon just adds so much more to this deck. Your normal summon is very important here, because you will normal summon things like your Unizombie or your Mathman or maybe even a King to get over certain effects. And Debris Dragon just allows you to go into certain things. There are a lot of level 7 dragons you can go into that are very, very important, and also a level 5 that really helps you recover, which I'll go on to in a little bit, but having 2 of this is just so good. If it went to 3, would I play it at 3? I'm not sure. But Debris Dragon at 2 has been working really well. Often I want to see a Debris Dragon kind of early-ish to late game or to mid-late game. I don't really see it as a dead card often, simply because unless I don't draw any of my like kind of digging cards, then it's always going to be live, and it's good to just maybe clear the field for things like Black Rose Dragon or so on and so forth, and then I can go in with King to just kind of brutalize my opponent. So Debris Dragon at 2 is a really, really nice addition. The other thing that we have at 2 now is Allure of Darkness. I know, rip, one of them is a common. Couldn't get my hands on the ultimate rare just yet, but it is on the way, and I couldn't wait to show this deck profile off to you guys because I know a lot of people were waiting for it. Allure of Darkness adds a nice amount of draw power. So with Upstart gone to 1, I'm not playing Upstart anymore just because in this version of the deck it just doesn't really work as well. It doesn't have the same oomph and added consistency. But with Allure of Darkness to 2, this really helps. So drawing 2, banishing 1 dark is just nothing for this deck because we can manipulate our banisher if needs be. So yeah, Allure of Darkness was an amazing card to come off. I honestly thought Burial was going to go to 2, sorry, and I even picked up an extra DT one, but lo and behold, didn't happen. Hey, never know, maybe next list. Next up we have 2 Twin Twister. 2 Twin Twisters, just good. You can put a third one in if you so wish, depends on how the format goes, if it's a really back row heavy format or whatever, but Twin Twister is good. I'll always side the third if needs be against any pesky decks like the Monarchs or you know, things like the Burning Abyss that have high trap counts. It's completely down to yourself, but yeah, Twin Twister is a nice blowout card, or even Pendulums. 1 for 1. Got the 1 for 1 in here just because I have a couple of extra things like under the White Prince, so it gives me further targets to go for 1 for 1, and also nice just to bring out the King of Skull Servants if we so wish. 1 Miracle Dig. First I'll talk about this, so I'll talk about these at the same time. So Burial from Different Dimension is a standard thing, you run it anyway. Miracle Dig. Now with the addition of a second Allure of Darkness and a third White Prince, the Banish Zone can get quite big quite quickly. So with Burial only being at 1, I looked to Miracle Dig to see, well, you know, if I can maybe use Miracle Dig first and then use Burial later. And also let's not forget Mizuki is at 3 in this deck, so it's very easy to build up the Banish Zone because you have to banish 3 for King of Skull Servant's effect, well, White Prince's effect, and then, you know, that's already 3 right there. You can use it multiple times. You have Mizuki's, you have Allure of Darkness as well, banishing. So the Miracle Dig is a nice one. I'd much rather see Miracle Dig first than Burial, but, you know, you just need to be clever with the way that they come out. Obviously, you can manipulate the Banish Zone as well in your graveyard to make sure that Miracle Dig is live. So yeah, it's working really well. Just the one of. If Burial went to 2 though, I would instantly take out the Miracle Dig, obviously, for the second Burial. The one Foolish Burial as well. So speaking of Burials, we have Foolish Burial. He is a standard card. You need to run it in this deck if I'm honest. Don't need to say too much about it. The one Regeki, just to clear the field of any annoying cards or monsters that I don't like, so I can go for big hits with my King of Skull Servant. And then finally, the 1 Instant Fusion, which is for the Thousand Eyes Restrict. So we'll get into that in a little bit. Next up, we have the trap cards. We have 2 Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike's just a great card. Yeah, I don't really need to say too much about it if I'm completely honest. But yeah, Solemn Strike is here for that. 2 Call the Haunted. Call the Haunted is a really nice card in the deck. You know, you can bring back your Uni-Zombie, bring back all that type of stuff. So yeah, Call the Haunted just nice, and also nice to block my opponent's attacks when I bring back a big king on high attack. The 1 Solemn Warning. You know, Solemn Warning is just great. This deck can play trap cards, so it makes sense. The 1 Vanity's Emptiness, again, standard. And then finally, a Bottomless Trap Hole. So going on to the extra deck. Now, the extra deck, what I will say is it's been very tight. I don't actually run Norden, even though I do run one Instant Fusion. The reason being is just I have Thousand Eyes Restrict for a certain type of removal, and I have other cards in the deck that actually do the same job that, you know, Instant Fusion, that Norden would do. If I played something, for example, like Uni-Zombie, not Uni-Zombie, Zombie World, then I'd probably run Norden, because Norden would be counted as a zombie in the graveyard, and then Mizuki can technically bring back Norden, and then it can get all the effects. So yeah, that is a pretty big upside. But however, going on to it, enough talking. We have the beautiful Thousand Eyes Restrict here, my secret rare. I love this one, love the version of this. Thousand Eyes Restrict is a really interesting card, and I'll talk to you about it with Ghost Trick Duelan. So These two work really well together, and this is the reason why I've got the Ghost Trick in here. So think of it as you have like a White Prince or any level 1 on your side of the field. You instant fusion into Thousand Eyes Restrict. Thousand Eyes Restrict sucks up a monster. Then you can overlay into this bad boy, and it means that you can still attack. So there's nice little plays that you can do. You can get a nice little bit of an advantage on your opponent, and especially if you can bring back things like the King of Skull Servant and all that, you can go for nice pluses, because Ghost Trick can cut the attack and you know, just make some nice plays in general. So it's a really nice card, really nice combo. Super happy Senpai noticed me to see, wow, that sounded horrible, to see Thousand Eyes Restrict back in the game. Honestly, it could probably go to more than it is, but we'll just try it at 1 and we will see. To go over the other XZ before I go into the synchros, we have the one Levier. I have some level 3s. I've just decided to put Levier back in because it is a very powerful card, especially with the more banishing that's going on. So Levier is doing me nicely. Going to the synchros, we have the one Trishula Dragon, the Ice Barrier. If I can play this card feasibly and go into it, I will. We all know that. The one Abeels, it's a level 8 Dark. That's nice against a lot of decks. The one Void Ogre Dragon. Void Ogre Dragon is just a great card in general, so, you know, it's always good. The one Omega, as soon as Shinran Yui Sage comes out, this card will go to 2 straight away in the deck, just because you can go into it so often. You can go into it fairly often in this build, but the extra deck is just so tight that I've decided to just put it at 1 and see how it goes. So yeah, the one Black Rose Dragon, so these are all debris targets. The Black Rose Dragon, in fact I'm going to put the other non-debris dragon to the back. Black Rose Dragon makes sense. Next up we have the Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Again, makes sense. Clearwing is a absolutely incredible card. Meteor Burst Dragon. This card's just so good against things like Cosmo. Just no battle effects for you. And also the Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. This is just simply because I have Debris Dragon at 2. I have more targets that I can go into, and it's a pretty nice card, to be fair, to be able to have access to. Final level 7 is Yazzie. Now I can't use this with Debris, but I go into Yazzie very often. Because the card's just really good. If you don't know what you're playing against and you need to make a bit of a play, Yazzie's a pretty safe bet, one of the safest bets you can make apart from things like Omega, simply because it's a non-targetable card, and it's pretty big at 2/6, so it's down to your opponent to try and see what they can do, and it's really easy to go into this card, so you're not even losing anything even if they do get rid of it. One Stardust Charge Warrior, got this in here for my level 6 pool. Simply because it just gives me a little bit of draw, and also it means I can attack often and maybe make some big attacks with King to basically direct life points. The final level 6 is one Shinran Yui Samurai Saga. Samurai Saga is a nice card, being able to switch stuff to defense and also recycle my Mizukis back into the deck if I so wish, or anything that I've banished with whatever effect. Also combos nicely with the fact that Unizombie can then just ditch from the deck whatever I put back if so I need to. And then finally the one Dragon of Rebirth. This is the final Debris Dragon target. Debris Dragon target on this is nice simply because, you know, you can just reborn anything back, and it also means that you can bring back things like White Prince, and White Prince's effects will kick off in the graveyard when it's synchro summoned up to summon this. So that is it, guys. I hope you did enjoy the deck profile. Really happy that this card's back. And overall, this deck has had 3 nice introductions. New cards introduced to it. With the Debris, with the Allura, both at 2, with the Thousand Eyes Restrict. It's really, really nice. It's been working really well, and I'm quite happy with how everything's going. So that is it, guys. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the deck, and also with Thousand Eyes Restrict returning to the limited list. Make sure to leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later.